Hello guys, welcome back to another Spring Boot episode. Today I'm going to teach you about the standard actions in JSP files. In this chapter we will discuss actions in JSP. These actions are constructs in XML syntax to control the behavior of the servlet engine. You can dynamically insert a file, reuse Java Bean components, forward the user to another page or generate HTML for the Java plugin. There is only one syntax for the action element as it conforms to the XML standard. And a standard action element looks like this: lesser than sign, JSP keyword, colon, and followed by the action name and then the attribute with the value. Okay, let's learn the first standard action element. We'll learn about the include right now. This action lets you insert files into the page being generated. The syntax looks like this. We have the lesser than sign, JSP, include, page keyword with the relative URL and flush with true value. Let's see an example for this. Here we'll go to the index.jsp file and we say JSP include, and we'll give a page for this. We'll make another page. Actually we'll use -.html file, and after that we say flush equals true, and let's close this from here, and we'll provide a space here, and let's run this and check what happens. Okay, let's go to localhost 8080. Actually, we can't use HTML files for include page. We have to use a JSP like this. Let's run this and check it out. We get sorry, an exception occurred. The exception is null. So this is the include we made, the error page. So we'll have another page here to look things up again. We'll have a new JSP page. We'll copy this and paste it and call this new.jsp. Inside it we say the title will be included. Bodies will say includes here with other pages, and let's change the page here to new.jsp like this, and let's run this and check it out. We get includes here with other pages. That means the include is working perfectly well. Okay, now we see another example. We can use the Jsp action as well. The Jsp action is quite versatile. It first searches for an existing object utilizing the ID and scope variables. If an object is not found, it then tries to create the specified object. The simplest way to load the bean is as follows: JSP followed by useBean and keyword ID with the value name and class with the package class and scope. I'll teach you about the scopes later on, but remember there are 4 scopes in JSP files, and in the entire Java web platform there are 4 scopes. We'll have it here. We'll copy this and paste it here. We say useBean ID will be name, class will be java.util.date, and scope will be, you can see that there are many scopes: page, application, request and session. There are only 4 scopes inside the Java web platform, and we can use page, application, request and session. In further lessons, I will be explaining to you about the scopes in this platform. Now for this we use application scope. Now we will check the JSP Set Property Action. The Set Property Action sets the properties of a bean. The bean must have been previously defined before this action. There are 2 basic ways to set property action. You can use JSP set property after, but outside of JSP use bean element as given below. So we'll use this example to check it out. Before that, we'll learn about the get property action. The get property action is used to retrieve the value of a given property and converts it to a string, and finally inserts into the output. The get property action has only 2 attributes, both of which are required. The syntax of the get property action is as follows. JSP use bean, id, my name, we'll use that. JSP get property name, my name, property will be some property. Okay. Now we'll use this to check it out. We'll copy this from here and paste it here like this. We remove the dots. We remove the dots from here and here also. And next thing, we'll use the get property. We copy this and paste it here. For the property, we say Kulesh. Here also we will say Kulesh. And the next thing, we will declare the scope of the use bean as application. Now let's run this and check what happens. We haven't given the type of the use bean. The type will be Java. No, the type will be Now what we'll do is we'll see an example for use bean, set property and get property all in one. I have created a test bean class inside the controllers. Actually it shouldn't belong to controllers, but I've just made it for this example. Inside it we say private string message with no message specified as the default message, and we made a public string get message method which returns the message, and finally we have made a public void set message, a setter for string message to set this message. Now inside the body we'll give a center tag, and inside it we'll give an h2 that says Java. Actually, we'll copy this example from here. We'll copy this and paste it here. It's an example for the properties. Here we use a h2 tag to say using Java beans in JSP. And the next thing, we have declared the use bean with the ID test and class within the package of the test bean, and scope will be application instead of page request or session. And the next thing, we set the set property name as test also, and the property will be message and the value will be hello JSP. And finally we have made a paragraph tag which says got message, and later on we have set the get property with the name test and property message. Now this will work. Let's run this out. What we get is this: using Java beans in JSP and get message hello JSP is printed. So the value hello JSP is printed when we do this. Now we'll copy this example from here. We'll cut this example from here and paste it in new JSP, because we are going to do another example with another standard action tag. You save this, and now we are going to use the JSP forward action. The forward action terminates the action of the current page and forwards the request to another resource such as a static page, another JSP page, or Java servlet. Following is the syntax of the forward action. We say JSP forward and page key is given with the value relative URL. Now we see the example. We say JSP forward, and here we provide the new JSP file. Let's run this and check what happens. We say localhost 8080 and we get our new JSP values using Java beans in JSP, got message, and hello JSP. Now that's one to remember. Now let's check the text action. The text action can be used to write the template text in JSP pages and documents. This is the syntax for the text template. We can use JSP text with the value and the JSP text. We see an example for JSP text. We'll copy this and paste here. So remember that we can provide JSP text inside our text standard action tag. There are many types of text to use, and this is one of them. Now let's check the JSP element, JSP attribute, and JSP body actions, which are used to define XML elements dynamically. The word dynamically is important because it means that the XML elements can be generated at request time rather than statically at a compile time. So here we have an example. We copy this and paste it inside our index.jsp. We remove the forward tag and paste it here. Now let's run this. and we get body for XML element like that. So here what we did was we made an element tag with XML element name and provided attribute of name XML and element TTR value for the attribute, and the body contains body for the XML element like this. So this is how to use a element and body and attribute tags. We get body for XML element from this. Let's learn something about the include page tag. We'll copy this example, we'll paste it here, and we'll change this to new.jsp. We'll check our include tag, what it contains. The include tag is here inside another folder like this. You have to remember that the request for the include tag comes from the application HTTP request and response comes from the servlet response wrapper include. Remember, these are typical questions you might get from a examiner when you're facing an example about the JSP tags. You have to remember that the JSP include its request is application HTTP request, and its response is provided by the servlet response wrapper include. These are some things to remember when you are using the include page attribute. So today we learned about the standard actions JSP tags inside our application, and we saw some examples for these, and I hope you learned a valuable lesson from this. Okay, so today's lesson is over. I'll come up with another one another day. Until then, goodbye guys.